Hey there. So my next guest built his company when he was 14 or 15 years old, and it started out as a media company and turned into an esports team. And now he gets the joy of running multiple businesses, figuring out the business life. And it's pretty clear he loves what he does. I know you're going to love this one because I did. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamerpreneur podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Bradford Carlton. Today, I have a very special guest with us. I have Tyler Nienburg. Hey there, Tyler. How's it going?
Hey, Dr. Bradford. Thanks for having me on here. It's a great pleasure, and I'm doing great. I'm having a great February thus far. Maybe getting some business done during this time of year, but everything's going good. Valentine's Day is like right here, so everything's plus. Everything's
I love
plus.
it. All right, please do not call me doctor.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
Brad's
I'm
good.
sorry.
No. It's okay. I have a doctoral degree. It's a doctoral degree in law, though. So it's a little bit of a joke, right? Because attorneys don't ever go by doctor. I'm not an attorney anymore. I'm not allowed to even say that. So, Tyler, I like getting the show started right into it. How about this? Why don't you just go ahead and begin by telling us a little bit about yourself, please?
All right, so my name is obviously Tyler Nienburg. I am from Long Island, New York, and I started out Rectify Gaming, which at 16 years old, which began as a media outlet in 2013. We really started it as a forum and like a website for people to go on, talk to each other, maybe share some news, things like that. But then we started getting a reputation over time. You go to 2014, 2015, like people went to us for news, and we started rolling with that. We started upgrading our website. We got noticed from certain Xbox executives, got invited to events, started seeing opportunity to review games and things like that. So that grew over time. Obviously, long story short, as those years were going by, I was getting older. I was learning more about business, learning more about the gaming industry, and getting involved with it. Come 2016/2017, we started to get applications for esports teams, but like we never really publicly, we never showed interest into esports besides the fact that we hosted like Halo tournaments through Rectify Gaming. But I mean, CSGO applications started to come in, and we started with that in like 2017. Then me and the team at the time, and some of them are still with us as far as the management goes, we're like, I guess esports, we should really consider this because, it's really becoming a great interest of ours. So we thought about it. Come to 2018, we really went full on board with Rectify Esports. It was really a different, it's a different like division compared to Rectify Gaming. We want to keep those a little bit separate, which is why we have rectifygaming.com and rectify.gg. So you can see the esports side and the media outlet side. So that's two separate things. And the esports part really blew up more, and it blew up faster than the media outlet side. But both sides still show their benefits to this day, and I'm excited. I really am. It's 2021, and I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
Very cool. I love it. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Now, before we do that, though, I start every interview with a single question. So I'm going to ask you, just like I ask everybody else, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being high, how weird are you, Tyler?
Well, this is a complicated question. But I mean, I would say complicated because you talk to the people I know, like in general, like in person, they'll say I'm a 12 out of 10 weird, but I think I'll give myself a 7.5 out of 10.
Why is that?
Because I've seen a lot more weird people than me.
Okay. By comparison, I like that answer.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Tyler, this is the Gamerpreneur podcast. So I do need your gaming cred. When did you first start playing video games?
Well, I mean, that was a while ago. It had to be it had to be like 4 years old, right? My sister and my dad really were into games, of course. It's how am I supposed to get into games? I had to go through somebody. So it was my dad and my sister, really with Sega and Nintendo 64, what started with like Mortal Kombat or like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Mario Kart and things like that. So, I mean, I also have, I think I would say I have a pretty decent gaming family because, my cousin was into it. So he helped me get into more things and like really connecting with communities as I got older through forums. So, I mean, it goes deep in my family.
I just want to make sure you said you were 4 years old when you started, and you started with Mortal Kombat on the Sega, which had like the red blood.
At least 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
It was a different generation back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
All right. I love it. And what do you play today, if anything?
Well, I'm a really big Halo fan. Halo is a big reason why I'm really here today. I've always been a big fan of like Halo 2, Halo 3. Halo 2 was another game I played nonstop back in the day of the early 2000s. But yeah, I'm playing Halo, Rocket League, Apex Legends. That's really a top one for me right now.
All right. And if you had to pick one game out of your entire gaming career as your number one all-time favorite, which one would it be?
And that's a really tough question. It's obviously the toughest question for anyone to ever answer. I mean, if you talk about gaming franchises, it's going to be Halo, but like most favorite game of all time, I'll just go and say Halo 3.
Beautiful. Halo 3. Yeah. I love that one. Okay. Now let's get to the preneur part, because that's why we're really here. Now, Tyler, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your professional background? What brought you to Rectify Gaming in the first place?
I mean, all right. So my story is it's going to be completely different than anyone else, because I started creating Rectify at 15 years old. I mean, to really say I had a professional background at that time, I really wasn't. I started going to events at 15 years old with my cousin, who was older than me, is still older than me. and so we used to go to events like New York Comic-Con and PAX East, and I used to connect with other communities within, if it was Halo or something else, meet new people. And that's what really inspired me to really get to this point. Whenever I go to an event, I always network. Networking, for anyone out there, is the best thing you can ever do when you go to events. I mean, if you want to get your money's worth, network. You always get something out of it. I still keep all of my business cards and everything like that. So, I mean, my background really was, being 14, 15 years old, creating memes on the internet through certain communities, and then connecting with other people who had websites, and I learned a lot from them. And I still wanted to go create my own thing because I had a vision.
I love it. All right. Now, was it difficult as a teenager to start this type of business? I mean, most people, when they talk to a teenager, they're like, are you even old enough to have a conversation with me?
Right. I mean, I thought I was, I thought I was fine, old enough. I was working in the summer mowing lawns, to make cash. So I had cash on me. Put it towards the domain and other website fees you got to pay, and I started creating it. I didn't tell anyone in my family about it until it released, and I really kept it a secret because I don't like second opinions, and I just went right for it. That's how I am.
Okay. And how have things changed over the years? Obviously, you added on the esports component, but from when you were 15, I'm sure you said you create memes on the internet, but then it turned into something real at some point. Like, when was that transition?
I mean, obviously I see it in myself. Definitely more maturity. You can see it as the company grows from its first logo to now. There's more professionalism as far as the way we look compared to back in the day. And the more we've taken it more seriously, of course, because we definitely saw the opportunity. Once we saw the opportunity to really bring some, we can really bring some cash within this company and really even go further and benefit, potentially benefit other people as we go along. So yeah, I mean, I would say that.
Okay. And what's your favorite aspect of these businesses you've built? I mean, it's incredible. Anybody your age who have built anything. And is it the esports side? Is it the media side? Is it a combination of both? Or is it like just the management side?
Right. It's a combination. I would say it's a combination of both. Growing up, I was huge into like sports. I like sports, especially hockey. So esports it's kind of fun. It's more fun in that way because it's competitive. You can have fun with fans, followers, and things like that. I don't know. There's something about the competitiveness that I like that's really fun. But the media outlet part is still definitely an important part. It's fun when you receive opportunities through emails every day, but yeah, I would have to say esports is definitely a more fun side to what we've created.
Okay. And what kinds of challenges are you facing in your business? Like where are the sticking points?
Well, I think it's really trying to get partnerships. Partnerships are definitely a hard thing to get, especially when you have high standards for yourself and your company. I think that's one of the toughest things that we've always had, and anyone in our management group would probably agree with you. But that may change soon. We might have some things coming in the ropes as far as partnerships, but that's definitely the most challenging thing for the past year and a half, is definitely getting partnerships.
All right. So Tyler, so then what is like the toughest aspect of getting these partnerships? There's plenty of other companies out there who are looking for partnerships too. And part of my show is really trying to get advice into hands of everybody. So is it finding the right partner? Is it like amounts that they're offering, or is it something on your end?
Well, usually, teams like us, it's usually like what we want, and something most of the time they can't fulfill that. And there's a lot of competitiveness as far as other organizations that are out there within your caliber. For some reason, they like them more than you. And you've really got to sell the idea, whether it's through your decks and really sell your vision. Not everyone's going to agree with your vision, that's for sure. I definitely think that some people see our vision. It's the way you approach these companies sometimes, and what you're offering. Are you valuing yourself at a reasonable area? Because I've seen some things, Bradford, from competitors, and it's tough. It's just tough. It's a crazy game out there. It really is.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now, kind of like on the like business side of things, how was it trying to learn this as you've been going? Like, do you have a business family, like a background that this was all normal for you, or like this is all brand new? You had to figure it out, find mentors.
Right. A lot of it was brand new. I don't know one in my family has really created a business like this. I think I have the most unique business when it comes to my family, I believe. But I did have mentors along the way. Obviously, I can't name them, but people who have been involved with esports in bigger organizations, and people who just have experience in business in general. Like I was seeing a business advisors in late 2019, early 2020. And I've learned so much things that I didn't even realize. So, I mean, I've definitely had a lot of mentors help me along the way.
Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, Tyler, there are plenty of people out there who wish they could start businesses, right? But they never quite get to it. But you did it at 15, 14, 15. What makes you different? What about you is special or unique that you were able to do this where so many other people fail?
I think patience is a big part of that. Patience is key. I've seen a lot of people create either websites or organizations, and they don't have patience because they just expect just everything to happen like that overnight. It just doesn't happen like that. So you got to have the patience, you got to have the drive, you got to have the vision, you got to believe in the vision to believe that's going to happen. And quite honestly, I've had a vision of some things and they've come to life. And to this day, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, wow, that we actually made that happen. Like, for instance, let me give you an example. E3, we've always wanted to get accepted to E3 as a media outlet. And we did in 2016. That was the day I found that out was crazy. Like 3 weeks before E3, I'm going to E3. Let's go. So that was, that was awesome. I don't know. People just need to be patient, believe, like I said. Yeah.
I love it. Okay. Now, if you could go back in time, you could talk to little Tyler back when he was 14, 15 years old, and you could explain to him everything that's going to happen over the next couple of years, all the challenges and trials he's going to go through, all the amazing things that are going to happen. But there was one thing you had to let him know. What is that thing?
Oh man, that's tough. That's actually a really tough question. What would I tell younger Tyler? This is what I would have told him. Because I started out Rectify alone. Maybe have someone with you that you can trust as a business partner right away. Because I think that was one of my biggest struggles. I was a lone wolf. At the end of the day, you're trying to grow this company and you're by yourself. Like, there's really no right hand person right at the beginning of it. And you maybe try to find a partner or two that can have the same feel as you, which is really hard to find when it comes to me. But
okay,
yeah.
On that note, I'm assuming you have gotten partners since then.
Yeah.
Okay,
we have a directors group now.
What is the process of finding a partner? Because that's one of the biggest challenges I see a lot of business owners having is they want to do it all themselves because they don't necessarily trust somebody else. But how do you actually find someone to join you on that mission?
I mean, over the years, I've developed connections with other people, and they knew other people, and it's really it takes it might have taken a couple of years of really getting to know someone, really bring them on, or through someone else that's been within the organization that really trusts this person. Then you bring them on, you see what they can do, and you like what they can do, and that's how I found trust. That's how I've gotten people to help with. I help with Rectify is through other people, I guess, that they knew someone who knew someone. I guess if that makes sense.
No, that's awesome. That's you just got to meet people, right? That's it.
Right, you got to meet people.
Okay. Now I want to get a little more personal if possible, Tyler. Uh-oh. You see, I believe that we learn the most in our life from our failures, not necessarily our successes.
Right.
Because when you succeed, you may not know what happened, right? I succeed. Oh, okay. Yeah. But when you fail, you got to take a look at it. You got to be able to move past it in order to move forward, in order to succeed the next time you try it. So I'd like to ask you, what do you consider your biggest failure in life, and what did you learn from it?
So you're talking about like in life in general, like absolutely. My whole life.
Absolutely. Whatever. I don't want anybody to think you're Superman. That's the thing. That's why I asked this question. I don't want someone to say, he was 15. He had this fantastic life.
Absolutely not.
Everybody screws up. What's yours?
No. Oh, no. It's definitely not a suit. Like, this is not like it wasn't like a telltale story. No. I mean, it's hard to say like the biggest failure. That's tough. That's tough because you failed a lot, but you just don't know like if that was like the worst failure you ever had.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think. Yeah.
Okay. Now, on the flip side, Tyler, what is something that you're working to improve on yourself today?
I would say more. I'm trying to improve myself more on the business side of things. Learning more about that. I think I've got my knowledge down on this industry and what I need to do there. Now it's just about putting things together. I know I've formed the plan and things like that. Just more background business knowledge. I really think whether it's financials or like accounting or something like that. Things like that I want to get better at. Doing the behind the scenes stuff that no one really sees.
Okay. And what do you think is the toughest part of business so far?
It's definitely dealing with funding. Whether you gotta fund someone or getting funding from someone else. I would say from my perspective, that might be the toughest part. Yeah.
Okay. Tyler, this has been awesome. I got one more fun question before we bring this in for a landing. What is something that you think people misunderstand about you the first time they meet you?
Now this is a really good one. Now I was going to circle this question around and say, why do people underrate you? But misunderstand. I guess they misunderstand that I'm quiet.
Enough said.
Yeah.
All right. This has been an awesome interview, Tyler. How do people find you? How do they find Rectify Gaming, Rectify Esports, all of that, your socials, please?
You can find me on Twitter at TyBoyN17. You can find Rectify Gaming at Rectify Gaming and Rectify Esports at Rectify Esports, basically everywhere. It's not that hard.
I love it. And, all right. Now, any final thoughts you want to share or anything I didn't ask you think we still need to cover?
No, I think that's about it.
All right. Yeah. I thank you so much for coming on with me, Tyler. Before we started the interview, you said that like my question set was totally different than anything else you've ever seen.
It was.
So I appreciate you being a good sport.
Well, thank you for having me on again. It was great.
Absolutely. And for everybody else, I'm going to remind you all, don't be just a gamer, be a gamerpreneur.